Sorry it took so long to get back to you. I hope you haven't given up on me. I was out a couple of days sick. So when we're looking at like all of the different things that you were talking about, it's helpful to go into a specific database so we don't have to use like so many keywords to tie us into what we're looking for. So let me show you a couple of criminology databases and then a couple of search strategies. But then you might have to get back to me and we might have to hone the search a little bit more if you don't find what you're looking for. So if you go into the databases, you can go to criminology, and there's a couple, actually there's three. There's criminal justice database, criminology collection, and then I wonder if this is an overlap with one that we've already got. At any rate, these two, even though they have like the same look and feel, they're both ProQuest databases, which is the database vendor. They both have different content. So let's try this one first, but we can try the other one and see if we get different results. You can see my search that I've already done. It's kind of, I kind of want to give away everything at the beginning. Okay, so in this one, if you type in juvenile, what it's doing, juvenile adolescence, that's kind of like the same word. What it's doing is it's looking for that keyword, but only in that spelling. And so all of these are going to be related to your topic in some way. But to narrow down so you don't have to read all of that, you might add something like the context, so court. I don't think you have to put juvenile court because this population would automatically be in that context. And then as you go, you could just keep on adding concepts. Let's see. Oh, we had the racism. And so what we want to do is not go through 3,000 results, but we also want to be able to contextualize this as like the most important part of the article. So let me show you how I went about that. And if you went back to the beginning of the video, you would see it. So I started out racial or discrimination, racism or prejudice. So instead of just looking for racial, it's going to look for each instance of these different words because it's not a smart search. It's not going to look for synonyms. And on this one, I want to put related terms because sometimes scholars are not looking at the court, but they're looking at a tight element. So sentencing or judgment or prosecution. Whoops, I'll check. We'll get that checked. Defense. And we could also do plea. Spelling counts. And then for juvenile, adolescent, I think we'll cover it. In other disciplines, like sociology, you might have to put in different words for it, but in the criminal justice system, juvenile or adolescent are very canon. So they're like the official words that you need to have. Okay, so you'll notice we're searching anywhere for these, and I did peer-reviewed, and I did all dates, and we're going to get like way too many. So what I'd recommend in this one, oh, waiver. So what I'd recommend is narrowing down. So instead of just looking in the full text, I want it to be among the most important parts of the article. So if these words don't appear, all of them, one instance from here, and one instance from here, and one instance from here, if they don't appear in the abstract altogether, then we can count on that article not quite being what we're looking for. So out of these 99, you could go through them and look for like the rippling effects that further the effect of hate crimes and immigration policies and things like that. You could go through and just see what's going on here and see if this contributes to what you want to say. But you could also say, you could add that. Whoa, no, what just happened? I lost my line. Let me go back and see if I can keep my I hacked it. I wanted to add a row. You could do hate or immigration policy. And if it's more than one word, you have to put it in quotes. So in this one, I'm looking anywhere because I only have 99 that I'm searching from. Are we searching? There we go. There may be too few. So I would suggest that you maybe just look for what you're interested in in these contexts. And then what you could also do is say, okay, maybe I want to see racism in the juvenile justice system, and then I want to see maybe if we're looking at that, maybe then we would do hate or immigration policy. So this is my second strategy, is take away one of the chunks that we're looking for and see if there's things that go past that. And you can keep on modifying as you go. So maybe it's like juvenile or adolescent, and let's do hate crime or immigration policy. And again, there's only two. So it could be that you just have to noodle around without hate crime and immigration policy, and you have to look for things that maybe support like a little bit of what's going on after after your search. So for example, going back to these 99 results, teen courts as alternate justice. One article might talk about the courts. Some of them might talk about the racism. And then you, in your presentation, in your infographic, then maybe you could talk about hate crimes or immigration policy, if that makes sense. Another thing you could do is look at juvenile or adolescent and recidivism. My spelling isn't on. So recidivism is like an outcome after the court, right? And so you might not find an article that says the racism in courts turns juvenile and adolescent into recidivists, but you'll get articles that talk about maybe why they do, or maybe why recidivism is higher, or why there's certain interventions that are lower. Does that make sense? So we're kind of like, instead of looking at an article that says exactly what we want to say, we're looking for that circumstantial evidence. I will send you the keywords so you don't have to cut and paste like I did, but let me know how it goes. Oh, by the way, if you find one, oh, there's predictors of juvenile recidivism. So maybe, like, let's see what it says. Ooh, they don't really say. You might have to go in and read. But at any rate, if you find an article that's good, there's a citation generator. And they're usually kind of need tweaking. So this one needs to be sentence case instead of all caps. And there's also the ability to email yourselves articles. If you run stuck and you can't get the full text of something that looks really good, just email me and I'll get it for you.